Hey YouTube, it's SoulPrime13 with another video review. Today we're going to be looking at the baiwei Toys overscaled knockoff of the Transformers 1, not Run, Studio Series Optimus Prime. So first we'll take a quick look here at the box. You have a nice little picture here of Prime. And you can sort of see Megatron's arm here. Does have his axe. Bunch of logos and whatnot. Not really anything else on the sides. And a little bit on the bottom. Back is the same. But that's it for the box. And as far as our instructions go, give me a second. There. A small sheet of instructions, but they are in full color, so there's that. Our instruction booklet. And he does come with a few good accessories as well, so we'll get into that shortly. But first, let's take a look at him up close. And he does look really good. He's got plenty of metallic paint this time. He has a very nice sheen to him. He does have these new blaster weapons, as well as the jetpack that can just plug into his back. Uses the same ports as the weapon storage for the original weapons. He does have articulated hands now. We can go ahead and get into articulation real fast. Head is on a ball joint. The shoulders, I mean, the articulation is essentially the same. Shoulders are 360. They like to catch though. His shoulders are definitely not as good as before. Yeah, they are catching there on that. So kind of 360, kind of not. Too much collision. 90 degrees at the elbows. Do have a wrist swivel and opening fingers on both hands. Does have the torso swivel. Does have the big metallic diaper bit. Can kick that far forward. Can kick that far back. A little over 90 degrees at the knee bend. Does sort of have that toe bend from the transformation, and you do get your ankle tilt, which feels really stiff. So at the very least, he definitely looks a lot nicer than the original. No denying that. But I do still kind of have some issues with him. He does still come with the Matrix, which is molded the same, even though he doesn't have the little slots in his hands anymore. But it is painted. If I can get it out of here. There we go. It is fully painted now. So there is that. But yeah, his shoulders don't really plug in the same, and they don't, for some reason, they don't really move forward very much. Like, I'll show you here on the original. Like, you can see how smooth that shoulder movement is, and it's just not there on this one. Waist doesn't tap in as well either. This piece is actually die cast now, so it does give him a little more heft, which is nice. But yeah, the joints and whatnot are just not as smooth as the original, which is a bummer, because baiwei usually does pretty solid knockoffs, from at least in my experience. We'll talk about some of the other accessories here. Scooch. Sorry if I'm having trouble keeping things in shot. I finally got a new stool to sit on, but it's a different height, so in a completely different position. So first and foremost, we do have the forward guns from the original, which again, I'm never going to use these. I don't like these. We do have his open-faced head sculpt, and it's just on a ball joint, so you can just pop it off, pop it on. We have this other gun that looks like it should go to Soundwave, but we don't even have a TF1 Soundwave as of right now. Not really sure why this was included, but hey, it's a thing you can use. We do get that signature blaster that was in the movie a whole bunch. And obviously he can hold these guns. And he does have a nice grip. Does have a good grip on him. So there is that. And of course, he does have his Energon X, which you can see they have sort of airbrushed with some golden bronzish paint. No, I'd say it's more gold. Excuse me. And it works the same, it just plugs into his hand. So nothing new there. But yeah, overall, nice selection of accessories. Most of them do not store in the vehicle mode though. But yeah, we'll get these out of the way. And we'll do some comparisons. Again, here he is next to the original Hasbro release, although mine does have the DNA upgrade. So you can see how much bigger he is. He does stand quite a bit taller. And there he is next to the Takara leader. So he's sort of like Voyager, large Voyager scale. But overall, I do think that, if nothing else, he has amazing shelf presence because of all that metallic shine that they actually put in. And I do think that the paint job really does stand out. And I just noticed that this piece is still flipped up. But yeah, I especially like the blue on his legs and that nice silver on his arms and torso. Really just looks so much better than that original, like, grayish tan, whatever it was. This looks so much better as far as paint goes. And honestly, it's worth buying just for that. Because, like, it's only, I think, like a $20 figure. It costs less than the deluxe. And again, you do get all these nice accessories, and overall, while it's not as good in some departments, it's not a bad figure. It's just, like, there are some flaws. It's not horribly, you know, thin plastic. It's not gonna necessarily, you know, fall apart in your hands. There are a couple joints, like the ankles, that feel a little bit too stiff, and I worry about that, but you could probably, you know, oil those up and loosen them up a bit. And the shoulders, it's just, for some reason, the movement just doesn't flow right. And I'm not entirely sure why. Maybe it's something to do with how he was sized up, but it just doesn't, it is what it is. But yeah, overall, still a very, very nice figure. And I think that's about it for the robot mode. So yeah, we can go ahead and work on that transformation, which is essentially the same. So we're going to start by flipping these toes down. And we're going to come here to the legs and flip these panels out and around. Flip these out and around. Move the diaper up. Let's just sort of bring these legs up for the moment. And then for this part, we want to separate the chest here. And we do want to pull this out. Just get those shoulders out of the way. Bring that up. Oh, yeah, we do want to turn the head around and fold it down, push it into that cavity, bring the shoulder bits out, bring these out, and then we want to bring this whole assembly around, and as we bring this down, want to move these in and slot them in here in the side. Yeah, and these stiffer, really stiff joints do make this a little bit of a pain compared to what it used to be. There we go. And we can bring this up and just sort of rotate it around, close it up, covering all that. Straighten out those arms again. Make sure that this torso thing, or this torso section, sort of moved up in there. You want to take the legs and angle them at the knee a little bit like this. Seems like they're on a little bit of a tab, so it's hard to get them at that very slight angle that they're supposed to use, but bring the shoulder back down, and there's a tab on this that will go into this little slot right here on both arms. Bring this in. There is this tab hole here on the arm. It's going to go into this tab on his thigh. Then push these handles into his fists, which did not go in properly. That's not nice. There we go. Retab everything that popped out. And plug this into his hand. And then, say that's not doing what it's supposed to do. And there you have him in his Cybertronian. Oh, forgot, gotta turn the smokestacks. Now you have him in his Cybertronian truck mode. And I've seen some people saying in like various discussions, like, why didn't they use the DNA upgrade kits or something similar, because they tend to do that a lot. You have to understand that like the DNA upgrade kits were announced and released around the exact same time as this guy was, so they probably didn't have them to integrate. Given they could have designed it themselves, but I imagine that would have been a lot more costly, and that's why they didn't do that. But overall, you know, I think it's still executed all right. Like I mentioned, those stiffer shoulder joints make getting everything lined up in the top, well, really just the stiffer joints in general, just kind of hinder the smoothness of the transformation, because it is the same transformation. The only real difference in the transformation is the fact that his hands open and close, but it doesn't really change anything. So yeah, can't remember if the instructions say it or if people have just been doing it online. Let me look real quick. Yeah, the instructions don't have anything about storage. I mean, you can probably still store the axe here if you want to. You might end up scratching that paint though. But I do see a lot of people plugging these into these like holes in the back of his arm, like this. So sort of like some sort of boosters. But yeah, and you do get the silly little front guns if you want them. Is it these? Yeah, these. And these ironically are too loose. Like too loose. Which is the opposite of the original, where they were so tight I thought they were going to break the toy. Which is why I never used them. yeah, you can theoretically store the backpack because it's just these slots on the top, or the jetpack, I should say. Does look really weird, but you can do it. You can do it. Let me lower this a little bit. For size comparison, here we have the KO Studio Series Optimus G1 Commander. This is the what was it? This is the one that came with all the trailer and stuff. I can't remember what the company name was, but this one's actually very nice. But that's a different review. So yeah, I do think it's worth it because it just has a really low price, and it's not terrible, but do be aware that it's not amazing either. There are some issues with it, but it is a very nice budget, oversized version. And again, that paint job really does go the extra mile for the shelf presence on this guy, and like honestly, I'd probably get it for that alone, considering how like low the price is. Again, this guy is like $20, so he's less than a deluxe. But yeah, not too much else to say on this particular figure. So I think I'll go ahead and wrap things up. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed. And this is Soul Prime 13 saying transform and soul out.